Today we're talking about a motorcycle that many riders believed would never return. What if I told you Suzuki could be preparing to revive one of its most iconic two-stroke trail bikes in a way that perfectly blends nostalgia with modern engineering? Would you believe it? Because for decades, the Suzuki TS250 has been remembered as one of the toughest and most dependable dual-purpose motorcycles ever built. It wasn't designed to dominate motocross championships or chase top-speed records. Instead, it earned its legendary reputation by taking riders wherever they wanted to go, through forests, muddy trails, mountain roads, and even everyday city streets. Now, rumors, fan concepts, and endless discussions among motorcycle enthusiasts have sparked one exciting question. What if the 2027 Suzuki TS250 became reality? Could Suzuki bring back this legendary machine for a new generation of adventure riders? Stay with me until the end, because the one feature I believe Suzuki should never change has nothing to do with horsepower. Some motorcycles become famous because they're fast, others because they're expensive or packed with technology, but every once in a while, a motorcycle earns legendary status simply because it never lets its rider down. Personally, I think the Suzuki TS250 belongs in that category. Back in its day, the TS250 wasn't trying to be the most powerful motorcycle on the market. It was built with a simple mission: go anywhere, survive everything, and always bring the rider home. Whether it was crossing dirt trails, climbing rocky paths, or serving as reliable transportation in rural areas, the TS250 proved itself again and again. That's exactly why so many riders still remember it with genuine respect. Even today, you'll find beautifully restored TS250s being ridden around the world. That says a lot about the motorcycle's reputation. Machines disappear all the time, but legends never really leave. They simply wait for the right moment to return. Personally, I've always admired motorcycles that have character rather than complexity. The TS250 never needed huge horsepower or expensive electronics to make riders smile. It offered something much more valuable: confidence. You could ride it almost anywhere without worrying about whether the motorcycle could handle the challenge. Now imagine Suzuki bringing that same philosophy into 2027. The first thing that would catch your attention would probably be the styling. I don't think Suzuki should completely redesign the TS250. Instead, they should respect its heritage while giving it a modern appearance. Imagine a classic teardrop-shaped fuel tank inspired by the original model, combined with sharper side panels, slimmer bodywork, a compact LED headlight, and a lightweight rear section. It would immediately remind older riders of the original while attracting younger riders looking for a retro adventure bike. The iconic Suzuki graphics could return with modern detailing, while classic color combinations like vibrant blue, champion yellow, or white with blue stripes would celebrate the motorcycle's history. Personally, I'd love to see Suzuki bring back a blue version because I think it perfectly captures the spirit of the original TS lineup. Comfort would also play a huge role. A long, flat seat, upright handlebars, and a relaxed riding position would make the motorcycle just as enjoyable on city roads as it would be on mountain trails. That's one thing the original TS series always did exceptionally well. It never forced riders to choose between comfort and capability. Now let's talk about the engine, because this is where things become really interesting. The original TS250 was powered by a two-stroke engine, and that's one of the biggest reasons it became legendary. The lightweight feel, crisp throttle response, and unmistakable exhaust note created an experience that modern four-strokes simply can't duplicate. Personally, I'd absolutely love to see Suzuki bring back a modern fuel-injected two-stroke. I know current emissions regulations make that extremely difficult, and realistically it's unlikely with today's standards, but if future technology made it possible, I think riders around the world would celebrate. If Suzuki chose a more practical approach, I could imagine a modern 250 cubic centimeters liquid-cooled four-stroke single-cylinder engine producing around 28 to 32 horsepower with strong low-end torque, excellent fuel economy, and outstanding reliability. It wouldn't need to be the fastest bike in the segment. Instead, it would focus on smooth power delivery and everyday usability. And honestly, I think that's exactly what the TS name represents. Adventure isn't always about going faster. Sometimes it's simply about going farther. Performance would likely focus on versatility rather than outright speed. A lightweight chassis, long travel suspension, generous ground clearance, and a 6-speed gearbox could make the motorcycle equally comfortable on gravel roads, forest trails, and daily commutes. Modern fuel injection would improve reliability, while a larger fuel tank would extend its touring capability. Suspension is another area where Suzuki could make significant improvements. Fully adjustable front forks and a preload adjustable rear monoshock would dramatically improve comfort over rough terrain. Personally, I think suspension is one of the most underrated parts of any dual sport motorcycle. A well-tuned suspension gives riders confidence, reduces fatigue, and makes every journey more enjoyable. Technology would naturally move forward as well, but I hope Suzuki keeps things simple. A compact TFT or LCD display, LED lighting, USB-C charging, dual-channel ABS with an off-road mode, and switchable traction control would be more than enough. The TS250 has always been about freedom, and I don't think it needs dozens of complicated electronic settings. When it comes to practicality, this motorcycle could become one of the most versatile bikes in Suzuki's lineup. New riders would appreciate its manageable power. Experienced riders would enjoy its simplicity. Commuters would value its fuel efficiency. And adventure riders would love its ability to leave the pavement behind whenever the road ends. Personally, I think motorcycles like this are becoming more important than ever. As bikes become larger, heavier, and more expensive, many riders are starting to appreciate lightweight, simple machines again. There's something incredibly satisfying about a motorcycle that encourages exploration without overwhelming you with unnecessary technology. Pricing would also be an important factor. If Suzuki ever introduced a modern TS250, I believe positioning it between $5,500 and $6,800 would make it extremely competitive against other lightweight dual sport motorcycles. It wouldn't just attract nostalgic riders, it could also introduce an entirely new generation to the TS legacy. Now let's come back to the question I asked at the beginning. What is the one thing Suzuki should never change? Personally, I don't think it's the engine. I don't think it's the styling, and I don't even think it's the suspension. It's the motorcycle's purpose. The TS250 has always been about freedom, reliability, and adventure. It never tried to be something it wasn't. It simply encouraged riders to keep exploring, no matter where the road or trail led. If Suzuki can preserve that spirit while incorporating modern engineering, I genuinely believe the 2027 Suzuki TS250 could become one of the most exciting retro dual sport motorcycles on the market. Now, I'd love to hear your opinion. If Suzuki officially unveiled the 2027 Suzuki TS250 tomorrow, would you prefer it with a modern 4-stroke engine, or would you still dream of a fuel-injected 2-stroke comeback? Let me know in the comments because I genuinely enjoy reading your thoughts. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to Acer Rider, and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest motorcycle reviews, legendary bike stories, realistic concept discussions, and future bike updates. Before we wrap up, here's an important disclaimer. As of today, Suzuki has not officially announced a 2027 Suzuki TS250. The motorcycle discussed in this video is a creative concept inspired by the original TS250's legacy, community interest, industry trends, publicly available information, my personal opinions, and AI-assisted visualization for entertainment and discussion purposes only.